I don't know. Is that your name?
No, my name is Bella Balls, sweetheart. Bella Balls.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's your real name.
Better balls bust, Augusta. Yeah. November 12th, City Council Chambers. 16 Coney Street. Drag on. True slams. Slipped on that dress, made ponytails tight, Bella Ball storming in, ready for the fight. Main Human Rights Act, Chapter 5, Section 4572. Pronouns locked down, dead name, that's a felony view. Council chamber crackling, suits shifting their seats. I strut to the podium, call me Bella, make it sweet. They tripped on tongue, sir, what's your real deal? Misgender mayhem, dead name reveal. But the law bites back, equality main on speed dial. Trans shield unbreakable, your slip-ups a trial. Culture jam hitting the sanctimonious shore. Bella Balls dropping bombs, watch the woke floor war. Bella Balls bust Augusta Hills, high balls low. Busting their balls, stealing the show. From the Coney Street desk to the morning news flow. Main Human Rights, watch the bigots implode. We jam the machine, flip the farce with a smirk. Right wing, renegade and drag, let the truth lurk. Bella Balls, most of us the victory strut, no glove. Culture clash queen, give me that rough. They grilled us hard, underway protest there. Two sisters and me, stripping down the nightmare. Title locks twist, Trump CEO in the mix. State says trans play, fair game, a rig fix. Women's space is sacred. I roared from the stage, but your rules are riddled. Rage on the page, security hovered, pulses in their ears, but Bella command, quail the fear. Section 46, 3, gender ID supreme. Preferred name reigns, dead name, bad dream. We crashed the council, mirrored their wrong game. Augusta's iron fist, now feeling the flame. Bella Balls, bust Augusta Hills, high balls low. Busting their balls, stealing the show. From the Coney Street desk to the morning news flow. Main Human Rights, watch the bigots implode. We jam the machine, flip the farce with a smirk. Right wing, renegade and drag, let the truth lurk. Bella Balls, bust Augusta, victory strut, no bluff. Culture clash queen, give me that rub. They figure we crack, but we seize the night. Misgender flubs, now they losing the fight. From equality main to the council's cold hall. Name it, own it, laws are thrall. No more whispers, no more bowed head, nah. Bella Balls surging, serving them hot. Right wing blaze in a bold second frock. Augusta's grip, busted clock, tick, shock, rock. Bella Balls, bust Augusta Hills, high balls low. Busting their balls, stealing the show. From the Coney Street desk to the morning news flow. Main Human Rights, watch the bigots implode. We jam the machine, flip the farce with a smirk. Right wing, renegade and drag, let the truth lurk. Bella Balls, bust Augusta, victory strut, no bluff. Culture clash queen, give me that rub. Bella Balls, bustin' balls. Coney Street, we own it all. Bella Balls, bustin' balls. Coney Street, we own it all. Yeah, culture jam eternal.
So good morning, Michael, broadcasting on Friday morning, November 14th from Maine's capital city, Augusta, actually Chelsea just outside of Augusta, St. Michael's Parish, right here, named after the angel of war who God sent to do battle with Satan, victorious battle. So we're going to open up this morning, having listened to the latest AI-assisted creation by the truth slinger, Tim Bodnar, with the prayer to the angel of war, Saint Michael. Pray with me. Saint Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. So thanks for taking time this morning to join me. Hope you've got your Coffee. Good morning, Shane. He said hello. You can comment if you're on YouTube or X watching me live, and I will be able to see it in this StreamYard program. So really appreciate you, and got a little, have to admit, sorrowful, and I won't say depressed, but a little sad this morning when I got up and started to prepare for the show, and I watched a production by Grace, somebody I started following many, many years ago, a YouTube creator who has been drastically put upon by Google, by YouTube, by the censorship and cancellation policies that emerged on the internet after 9/11. So it's been a long time. She and her husband have been broadcasting for a long time. Their channel is called Truth Stream Media, and you'll have to forgive me as I slow down in my narrative while I go and share this tab instead. I'm sure as I continue to do this, I'll become more fluid in doing this. But I discovered Grace, and her husband's name escapes me at the moment. Grace, and anyway, they do a really good job with video production and in pursuing, while they produce videos, questioning the assigned, pushed, broadly accepted, popular narrative about Western and American, especially reality, especially in the last 100 years. They've done a really good job exposing history and American jurisprudence and politics on their live stream. And Grace just released a new video last night, which is about 45 minutes long, and I couldn't turn it off, couldn't turn away, and so I listened to the whole thing. I'll be sure to put the link in the show notes at michaelheath.tv if you want to follow up. But I wanted to play an excerpt from it this morning. So let me cue that up for us. And the title she gave this particular video is "This is Spiritual Warfare." All of it. This is spiritual warfare. All of it. And this point that she makes in this short clip has directly to do with Christian nationalism, Christianity. So let's give it a listen. Maybe. Spinning.
And even he can realize how silly that's about to get if he doesn't say something. So, but we've been lied to about things. Of course we have. I don't think we've been told the truth about what's really going on in this society for a very long time, a long, long time, longer than I've been here, but we're really not being told the truth at all right now. What we're being is distracted every other 5 minutes by a new psyop. Some of this I can't actually talk about because it actually does make me nauseated. Like the fake revolution with the Christian nationalism thing that they're trying to do, that whole false revolutionary spirit they're trying to drum up with their thing. That's gross. That grosses me out. I can't even really talk about it because it's so manufactured. It's so utterly manufactured. Scan your QR code for Jesus and whatever. Like, it's just so not. And of course, a system would do that because if a system is threatened by an actual revolution, it's going to provide you with a fake one. And they're doing it on both ends. That's why you have the other side funding No Kings protests while we have a president who sort of acts like one. I mean, it's all coordinated. There is no left right paradigm, but people still don't get that either. And I'm standing outside of it and I'm watching all of this. And we really are living through the right side of that whole thing. Like the left side of it during COVID, that was very dehumanizing, was a lot of people on the left saying, for the greater good, if you won't do what you're told by the government, you should go out in the woods and die. That was a kind of talking points. And I saw that coming mostly from people on the left at that time. Well, now we have people on the right and they're like, well, we should just kill homeless people.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right.
This is very dehumanizing and disgusting. Like when a society becomes this level of self-destructive, that's the talking points, it's pretty bad. And now we're just having to live through the other side of that. We lived through the left. Now we're going to live through the right. It's awful. It's just gross. It's so sick to watch. It's the kind of thing that it just makes me want to go live in a tree in the woods somewhere by myself and not participate in any of this at all because it's so disgusting and dehumanizing and awful. It's just awful.
I'm more off-putting.
No, I'm more off-putting. Kids, you're both just awful.
Both sides of this are just awful, and they don't see themselves at all. They have no mirror to look in. They don't see that they basically are each other. They don't even get it. And it's real fall of Rome level lack of self-awareness we're talking about here. I mean, by the time you have Fox News hosts sitting up on a couch on national television saying we just need to euthanize homeless people, I mean, that's beyond jump the shark. I don't even know what you want to call that. That's the level we're at, though. That's the actual level we're actually at. They didn't even fire that guy. That guy didn't even get fired. I, as an independent activist and journalist in this system who just talks about these things, have been censored and shut down and algorithmically shadow banned in every way possible for like the last decade. But that guy still gets to have his nationally syndicated show on television while they prop up those people as if they're official news, and they shut down any dissenting voices, which is, of course, what any tyrannical system would do. But it's like they're just, ever since COVID, we've been in this giant experiment.
I think we're in the middle of a massive experiment worldwide.
And it's a test. And it's one that you didn't know you were in and you didn't know you were taking. And they've been censoring anybody that could try to help you or give you any hints on what's going on. Right at the beginning, they showed their hand on this, just by the way. Right at the beginning, they opened up everything on YouTube, for example. They opened up all the channels. You can ask other people. You can ask Really Graceful and others. They opened up all of the control that they had artificially placed.
So this is a take that you're not going to get, most likely fed to you all the time, in the feed as you scroll Facebook or YouTube or anything else. This take by Grace, because she's reflecting as a young mom. She's got, I think, one, maybe two kids. She's reflecting on, throughout the whole video, the violence and the horror that is emerging everywhere, at least everywhere in the empire, in America, all around me. I see it within my own family, within my wife's family. I see it in our neighborhood. I feel it every single day, the distance growing wider in real life between all of us. It's growing. A chasm is opening between all of us. Essentially, this is the point Grace doubles and triples and quadruples down upon. The chasm that's opening up is in real life, and it's based on our treating one another like human beings who are on a path to something real, something good, and each of us uniquely on a different path going towards something human, something good, something non-violent, something that doesn't include constant war and death, something that is more about multi-generational families and marriage and goodness and truth and beauty. The chasm that's opening up between us is over those realities that every one of us yearn for. And so she goes on for about 40 some minutes making excellent observations. Now, I work every day to remain hopeful, but if you're in a war and your death is imminent, or you being in a position where you have to kill the other father across the way with your weapon because you're under orders in a war. War by definition is reduced to two sides. You don't have multiple sides. Grace, of course, pointed out there that there in reality there are multiple sides, like I just said, about everybody being uniquely made, uniquely created by a transcendent God with a different path to pursue. She's, as a mom of a young child, very, very aware of that. But war, when you go to war, it's friend versus foe. It's two sides. And while you're at war, there's going to be a winner. You're headed toward there being a winner and a loser. Someone's going to win, someone's going to surrender. It's reduced to that. And I can't think about this space, this internet, this cultural reality that is the internet without thinking of it in terms of war. And I think the war was launched in 2020. And the battle space, as I've said many times before, is the internet. And to the victor go the geography that you're fighting over. Whatever brings the two sides into bloody war with one another, into violent conflict with one another, is going to be either won or lost as a result of the conflict, as a result of the war. And so the battle space, we're battling, we're at war, we've been at war, open in an ideological and in a sense related to ideas. We've been at war over the internet and within the internet. We've been at war using our digital reality, our phones, our laptops, our computers, the internet. Now you throw AI into the mix, and the whole idea of these immense server farms. All this, we've been at war over this future that is envisioned for us all since 2020. And it's the end of something that started way earlier with the invention, the discovery, let's say, of electricity, and then the technologies that became possible that were invented on top of electricity, that were powered by electricity. This is what we're dealing with. And it's all come to this point in 2020, between 2020 and 2030, where either the World Economic Forum is indeed going to create a world where we don't own anything and we're happy, and they provide the universal basic income and the central bank digital currency tracking of every single one of our transactions, and the satellite tracking of our location, and the governance of our travel, and the control of our diet and of our thoughts with the internet. They've given themselves 10 years to build the infrastructure using digital technology to create our reality, the reality for us, especially for our kids and grandkids. This is not, I'm not making this up. You know this, they've admitted it. And both right and left of politics in the West is that's the goal in the midst of everything else that we hear about and that we talk about, that we're forced to think about, all of the psyops that change every single day. This is their goal. Their ultimate goal is to overwhelm our humanity with these psyops and leave us bereft of love for truth and reality. And like, for example, when I'm done this show, I'm going to enter into the real world, get in my car, I'm going to drive 2 or 3 miles to a cathedral, and I'm going to walk, not digitally, not with a headset, a virtual headset, but in real life, I'm going to walk into an immense cathedral made of granite with 40-foot high ceilings and vaults. And I'm going to spend 30 minutes praying, thinking, meditating, being silent, observing the confection of the Eucharist, which in Roman Catholic theology means that Christ is present. I'm going to enter into the theological magic of taking Christ into my body, and then I'm going to continue my work in the battle space called the internet to assure that that reality in real life is not just maintained, but that it thrives, it continues, that religion in Maine continues to be the source of strength and hope and love and even reality as it speaks to us magically, in a sense, from beyond. And it roots us in history, going back 2000, going back to the beginning of recorded history, actually. Christianity does that. All religions do that. Religions, by definition, are going to take seriously the traditions and history of the people who are part of that religious landscape. And so I can do no better than to encourage you to pick up your Bible today and read it. Take out your rosary today and pray it. Read about the religious history of Maine and take it seriously and think about it and come to conclusions about it. Was it all good? Was it all not bloody? Was it all peaceful and happiness and safety and harmony? No. Ever since humanity fell in the garden, it hasn't been that way. We've had sin is real. It has to be dealt with, and it's in our hearts, it's in everybody's hearts, and it affects everything around us and within us. And we have to deal with it realistically. And the best advice I can give you is to be religious today. Take your religion seriously. Make it public. Go for it. And I'm proud of Grace for thinking out loud in this 45-minute video. I don't get any indication from her that she goes to church, but she comes over the years that I've been listening to her. She's being drawn toward, at the very least, a deep respect for Christianity, and certainly for religion and spiritualities. That comes through in this video. So I'll pray for her today that she continues on this honest path, just like Tucker is on, and Candace and Nick. These are all Nick Fuentes. These are all figures with immense audiences, influencers, I guess they're called now, who are thinking out loud about, in their cases, Christianity. Tucker, I think, might be Episcopalian. Candace is Catholic, and Nick is Catholic, and they're thinking out loud about how their faith, their religion, their Christianity needs to be applied to what they're seeing and experiencing around them. And hats off to them. They're taking it on the chin right now, of course, from that religious group, which the powers that ought not be don't allow us to mention, have never allowed us to mention in my lifetime. I can remember until I still feel this little qualm when that three-letter word comes up in my mind, Jew, this little qualm that how dare I think anything negative, Holocaust, it's like a siren in my head, Holocaust, they're the ultimate victims, right? So if you want to know who your enemy is, just ask yourself who it is you can't criticize. Is there anybody else? Is there any other group? Even one other group in America that enjoys the privilege that they do? No, there isn't. And it was brought about by immense expenditures and lying and deceit, propagandizing and psychological operations and social engineering. All of it has been documented in books, countless books, videos, podcasts in recent decades. So there's all kinds of receipts out there for those of you who want to know, who have the courage to find out. So remember, you can comment or ask a question if you're watching this morning. And I want to turn to local politics and someone that I'm getting to know who may come on the show next week. Says he wants to. We'll see if he does. His name is John Salamone, and I haven't met him in real life yet. He's a 29-year-old man, married, with a child on the way, and just beginning to get his toes wet in Maine politics. And he has a background. He's been to college, has a degree in global something, and he's a tech guy, very skilled with video, and a good writer. And so he's starting to take on some very powerful forces in Maine on both the right hand and left hand side of our politics. And in this exchange, he's wrestling with Steve Robinson, who of course produces the Maine Wire. So what's at issue is a video that John released, I think yesterday, critical of Bobby Charles, who's becoming, seems he's probably one of the most talked about in my boomer world, hopefuls for the Republican gubernatorial primary. And John is taking him on and in the video and pointing out Charles's connections to the deep state, to intelligence in Washington, D.C. And Steve Robinson was drawn to comment about the video. It was that good, by John Salamone. And so this is what Steve says about the video. Without commenting on the candidate featured here, it's important to understand that John Salamone doesn't really care if what he's saying is true. Ouch. I've repeatedly tried to explain to him that some of his videos about Peter Mills, for example, are just laughably false and easily disproven. His response to my gentle private correction has been to malign me as a tool of foreign governments or corporations. Here's why they invented the mute button. If I want to read lies about Maine conservatives, I'll go read Steve Collins's column. So that's Steve's response to John's video about Bobby Charles. And this is John's response to Steve. Steve, you worked for Peter Mills, so your spin here isn't surprising. Your continued refusal to comment on his blatant conflict of interest sitting on the board of WM&RC while his sister forces through the CMP corridor is disgraceful. Regarding my video on Maine Policy Institute's Golden Calf, Bobby Charles, all of the claims in that video are public information and well cited in the pinned comment. Your desperate attempts to regain narrative control over the gubernatorial primary will not work. The base doesn't want Bobby Charles, and no amount of media gatekeeping is going to change that. So good for social media for airing this exchange. It can be found on Facebook if you go to John's page. Maybe you have to friend him. I don't know how all that works, but I haven't done any. All I know really about the whole electricity debate is that my bills are becoming unaffordable, and when I call, my wife and I call CMP, we don't. The sort of best answer we get to try to make sense of it all is call the PUC, which is a political thing, I guess, and tell them that, you know, basically what they do is they blame the politicians for breaking everything. And what Salamone is arguing is that the reason it's breaking is because of the lawyer level, the lawyer class, spending tons of money, bringing out the heavy guns, even up against a populist decision that was made, I think, in 2023 by referendum that said no foreign corporation is allowed to throw their weight around in Maine to adjust the policy landscape so that they can make more profit. So we have this. Hopefully, when John comes on, he'll get into all the details about the Spanish company. I think it's called Avangrid and whatever. So the people of Maine, 86% said these forces need to stay out of Maine. And you keep them out because we got to solve this problem without their propaganda, without their immense spending potential to create the outcome they want, to pursue their political agenda, their policy ends, policy goals. And so John is making very legitimate and important point related to a decision Maine has already made, and it's all being taken apart by the lawyers who are getting the the best pay ever, right? We all know that. The rich get to hire the lawyers, and the rest of us can't even afford to get 2 minutes with them. So John's onto something obviously here, and I'm glad on that electrical issue that he's made the point, and he's further talking about Peter Mills. I didn't know that Steve Robinson once worked for him. I've known Peter for 35 years or more. He was always on the other side of the social issues that I was tasked with fighting for, like abortion, the gay rights issue. He was always on the other side, but he was warm and pleasant to me when I was lobbying, but I never worked with him. Always worked against him, and so that's about. I'm so glad I'm not in that under the dome anymore, and I'm out here talking about my experiences and about the truth. It gets lobbying is a very interesting, to put it to the best face on it. Very, very corrupt now, has been my whole experience with it. The money sloshes around behind the scenes, and it's very difficult to expose it. The Maine Ethics Commission does its best, but money's what drives ends inside of the State House, and it drives careers, it creates careers, and it keeps these guys around for a long time. The money does. Maybe mostly through campaign finance donations, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes on that's hidden. We all know that. And I don't know precisely what the solution is, but what often gets talked about is disclosure, the public being able to see who's giving the money. But is that going to fix this? I don't know. So Steve and John are tangling here, and it's good. And like I say, I'm going to learn more when John hopefully comes on the show, and I'm going to keep paying attention to his videos and his argument. On the Bobby Charles point that he's making, it panics me to think that a Bush insider at that level, connected as John exposes in his video, through business, through money, to not just the national deep state, but to the intelligence side, the intelligence agencies of the national government. And not just that, but the technical side, the digital side of the intelligence agencies, which Palantir, for example, which is a terrifying organization and really should be disintegrated. It should be taken apart. I don't want my data, any of my digital data, to be anywhere near unified, singular databases where all the data points that I am now forced to or voluntarily surrender through the internet to businesses, to agencies, to entities everywhere around the globe. I don't want any force, especially at the government level, but also at the big corporate level, to be given the power to centralize, to gather all of those data points and put them into a searchable database, and that can be crawled by AI and then become the targeting mechanism for drones, which is what's being done in Gaza right now by the IDF and by Palantir and by the militaries of the West. That's how they're targeting the enemy. Is the drones are guided by these databases that have been created based upon the data points that they collect from Facebook and from social media and from banking and from travel, Google Maps, whatever, who knows what they've been given access to in order to create these databases. This is a very, very serious matter, and it appears that Charles is on the wrong side of it. I don't know yet. I haven't spoken to him. He's welcome to come on and any time that I do this show and have a conversation with me about it. But according to the facts that he's uncovered, the public information, he's all wrapped up in it at the monetary level through some LLC, through a business that he's still involved with. So good for John for exposing these matters. And as I say, we'll look forward to having some time with him in the near future. So a couple days ago, I enjoyed with you, continuing on through G.K. Chesterton's work of over a century ago, entitled The Ball and the Cross. And I want to continue reading that with you this morning because it's just so good. So, and who are you? Exploded Vane. You'll remember that Vane was the magistrate, the judge, who is adjudicating the destruction of the plate glass window of Turnbull, the atheist newspaper publisher's print shop. And so Vane is the judge who's being forced to judge between Evan McKeon, the one who broke the plate glass window, and Turnbull, the publisher of the offending article that was taped onto the plate glass window. And who are you? Exploded Vane, speaking to McKeon, the Irish Catholic who broke the window because he became so angry about the honor of God's mother Mary being attacked by Turnbull, the atheist. Are your views necessarily the right ones? The judge asks. Are you necessarily in possession of the truth? Yes, said McKeon. The magistrate broke into a contemptuous laugh. Oh, you want a nurse to look after you, he said. You must pay £10. Evan McKeon plunged his hands into his loose gray garments and drew out a queer-looking leather purse. It contained exactly 12 sovereigns. He paid down the 10, coin by coin, in silence, and equally silently returned the remaining 2 to the receptacle. Then he said, "May I say a word, your worship?" Cumberland Vane, the judge, seemed half hypnotized with the silence and automatic movements of the stranger. He made a movement with his head, which might have been either yes or no. "I only wished to say, your worship," said McKeon, putting back the purse in his trouser pocket, "that smashing that shop window was, I confess, a useless and rather irregular business. It may be excused, however, as a mere preliminary to further proceedings, a sort of preface. Wherever and whenever I meet that man," and he pointed to the editor of The Atheist, "whether it be outside this door in 10 minutes from now or 20 years hence in some distant country, wherever and whenever I meet that man, I will fight him. Do not be afraid. I will not rush at him like a bully or bear him down with any brute superiority. I will fight him like a gentleman. I will fight him as our fathers fought. He shall choose how, sword or a pistol, horse or a foot. But if he refuses, I will write his cowardice on every wall in the world. If he had said of my mother what he said of the mother of God, there is not a club of clean men in Europe that would deny my right to call him out. If he had said it of my wife, you English would yourselves have pardoned me for beating him like a dog in the marketplace. Your worship, I have no mother, I have no wife. I have only that which the poor have equally with the rich, which the lonely have equally with the man of many friends. To me, the whole strange world is homely, because in the heart of it there is a home. To me, this cruel world is kindly, because higher than the heavens there is something more human than humanity. If a man must not fight for this, may he fight for anything? I would fight for my friend, but if I lost my friend, I should still be there. I would fight for my country, but if I lost my country, I should still exist. But if what that devil dreams were true, I should not be. I should burst like a bubble and be gone. I could not live in that imbecile universe. Shall I not fight for my own existence? Shall we not fight on this Friday for our own existence? Or are we just going to surrender to these pagan ideas about religion and about truth and about marriage and about human sexuality and about family and about multi-generational property? Are we just going to surrender to communism? This wicked and bloodthirsty and proven inoperable ideological left-wing idea? Shall I not fight for my own existence here in Maine? Shall I not fight for my own Michael Stewart Heath existence? That's why I don't know how long it was ago. It was a year or so ago that I decided, maybe it was a couple years, to start using my middle name as often as I choose to. Stuart, Stuart, which is the spelling of the Stuart Kings, which were during that very difficult and bloody period in English history. The Stuart Kings were, I don't know that I'm related to them. I guess I probably, I mean, it's my middle name. It's the name of my grandfather's, my mother's father's family. And they go back in Maine into I haven't found out where it starts for them. I know about the history back to the first, one of the first cartographers who made maps available to the masses, hand-drawn, handmade, hand-colored with watercolors maps. You can go see them in any, you can go see them in libraries across Maine, the Stuart maps. So that was my great, I think, grandfather in the late 1800s here in Maine. He was a cartographer. He mapped he mapped the state, mapped the home, and yet now, I am not welcome in Maine. I'm not welcomed here. I'm a hater in my own state. Shall I not fight for my own existence? Shall I not fight for that's the point that Evan McKeon is making here. How do we exist in this world if we're going to obliterate the religion of our forefathers, and not just replace it, obliterate it and replace it with something so vapid, so divided, so disunifying, so weak? It can't offer anything. These ideas don't offer anything durable with respect to marriage over multiple generations, or sexuality. What do these ideologies offer as truth, as experience? They offer porn. They offer murdering babies in the womb. They offer grooming by two men who pretend that they're married when they can't possibly be married, because only a man and a woman, everybody knows only a man and a woman can be married. And then they, through surrogacy, bring this guy Rubin did, Dave Rubin. I guess conservatives listen to this guy all the time, but he has sex with a man, and he's grooming two kids who he right? Shall I not fight for my own existence? Evan McKeon asks the judge. The magistrate recovered his voice and his presence of mind. The first part of the speech, the bombastic and brutally practical challenge, stunned him with surprise, but the rest of Evan's remarks, branching off as they did into theoretic phrases, gave his vague and very English mind, full of memories of the hedging and compromise in English public speaking, an indistinct sensation of relief, as if the man, though mad, were not so dangerous as he had thought. He went into a sort of weary laughter. For heaven's sake, man, he said, don't talk so much. Let other people have a chance. I trust all that you said about asking Mr. Turnbull to fight may be regarded as rubbish in case of accidents. However, I must bind you over to keep the peace. To keep the peace? Repeated Evan. With whom? With Mr. Turnbull, said Vane. Certainly not, answered McKeon. What has he to do with peace? Do you mean to say, began the magistrate, that you refuse to, the voice of Turnbull himself clove in for the first time. Might I suggest, he said, that I, your worship, can settle to some extent this absurd matter myself. This rather wild gentleman promises that he will not attack me with any ordinary assault, and if he does, you may be sure the police shall hear of it. But he says he will not. He says he will challenge me to a duel, and I cannot say anything stronger about his mental state than to say that I think that it is highly probable that he will. But it takes two to make a duel, your worship. I do not in the least mind being described on every wall in the world as the coward who would not fight a man in Fleet Street about whether the Virgin Mary had a parallel in Mesopotamian mythology. No, your worship, you need not trouble to bind him over to keep the peace. I bind myself over to keep the peace, and you may rest quite satisfied that there will be no duel with me in it. Mr. Cumberland Vane rolled about, laughing in a sort of relief. You're like a breath of April air, sir, he cried. You're ozone after that fellow. You're perfectly right. Perhaps I have taken the thing too seriously. I should love to see him sending you challenges and to see you smiling. Well. Evan went out of the court of justice free, but strangely shaken, like a sick man. Any punishment or suppression he would have felt as natural, but the sudden juncture between the laughter of his judge and the laughter of the man he had wronged made him feel suddenly small, or at least defeated. It was really true that the whole modern world regarded his world as a bubble. No cruelty could have shown it, but their kindness showed it with a ghastly clearness. As he was brooding, he suddenly became conscious of a small, stern figure fronting him in silence. Its eyes were gray and awful, and its beard red. It was Turnbull. Well, sir, said the editor of The Atheist, where is the fight to be? Name the field, sir. Evan stood thunderstruck. He stammered out something. He knew not what. He only guessed it by the answer of the other. Do I want to fight? Do I want to fight? Cried the furious free thinker. Why, you moonstruck scarecrow of superstition, do you think your dirty saints are the only people who can die? Haven't you hung atheists and burned them and boiled them, and did they ever deny their faith? Do you think we don't want to fight? Night and day I have prayed. I have longed for an atheist revolution. I have longed to see your blood and ours in the streets. Let it be yours or mine. But you said, began McKeon. I know, said Turnbull scornfully. And what did you say, you damned fool? You said things that might have got us locked up for a year and shadowed by the coppers for half a decade. If you wanted to fight, why did you tell that ass you wanted to? I got you out to fight if you want to. Now fight if you dare. I swear to you then, said McKeon after a pause. I swear to you that nothing shall come between us. I swear to you that nothing shall be in my heart or in my head till our swords clash together. I swear it by the God you have denied, by the blessed lady you have blasphemed. I swear it by the 7 swords in her heart. I swear it by the holy island where my fathers are, by the honor of my mother, by the secret of my people, and by the chalice of the blood of God. The atheist drew up his head. And I, he said, give my word. we see how valuable the word of the atheist is here. That's one of the things I love about Chesterton is his wit and his subtlety in pointing out the hypocrisies that are all around us as a result of the fall, as a result of sin. And this is why it's so important to enter into liturgy, enter into worship, enter into the reading of the Bible and the honoring of the ideas of religion. In my case, and perhaps yours, honoring the truths, the morality, the philosophy, the theology of Christianity. It's really important that be done as frequently as we possibly can as laity. And isn't it wonderful that within the Orthodox and the Catholic tradition, there's reserved within the church a place for the men and women who are called to the sacrament of holy orders. What is that? Well, that's where a man or woman matures in the church with the sacraments to the point where they feel they must shut off the world. They must turn their back on the world we lay people exist in and make work. They must turn their back on that and enter into a sacrament called the Holy Orders, where within the Catholic tradition, the priests who are authorized to confect the Eucharist they swear off sexuality. They swear off sex. Of course, that's become a big issue now, right? With from all sides, just so fractious, that. And Eastern Orthodoxy came to a different settlement on that issue. I don't know precisely what it is, but they can have married priests. The Roman Catholic tradition, the priests are celibate. And the reason for the celibacy is they're turning their back as they enter into holy orders on, in part, on the pleasures of the world, on worldly pleasures. And the Roman Catholic Church has come to practicing the idea that sexuality is one of those worldly pleasures. And so even today we have these men. My pastor, he's celibate right here in Augusta, Maine. Imagine that, with porn everywhere and sexuality. And of course, the church is being brutally tested right now. The viral video that's going everywhere with the Catholic priest solemnizing the groomer male couple that are pretending that they're entering into a marriage. And of course, that's supremely controversial within the church and outside of the church, as it should be, as it must be, because it flies in the face of the dogma of Christianity, as well as the doctrine of Christianity and the deposit of the faith. It flies in the face of it, the history and traditions of the church. So I look at all this and I celebrate in a sense that it's in the open. It's taking forever, and it seems like we've been arguing and focusing on side shows and side issues and not getting to the bottom line. But sometimes it takes lifetimes, decades, more than one lifetime for there to be a correction. I thank God that that the conflict is not more bloody, more brutal, more that we're not. I hesitate because I feel like we're on the verge of it going kinetic, and religious people, Christians in Maine, watching their churches perhaps be, and we've watched them close through neglect for decades now, churches. But I feel like we may be reaching a point where the majority culture is going to start to attack. It's happening in Europe, right? Start to burn down churches, things getting violent. I hope and pray that it doesn't come to that. And I know that you do as well. So thank you again, all of you, for being with me this morning. Thanks for your hellos on the comments and your thanks. Appreciate it. And today's Friday. I'll be back tomorrow morning on Saturday at 6 a.m. with more. No idea at this point what, but I guarantee you it'll at least be interesting to me. And if it's interesting to you and you can think of someone else who might be interested in my narrative and in what I'm doing here, then please let them know, share it. Best place to send them is michaelheath.tv, because I know it's not getting throttled or there's no possibility of cancellation down the road on that platform. So as we wrap things up today and get started with our workday, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us